I'm going to tell you the number one thing that high value women who know their worth do when it comes to dating, and it has to do with what you're entertaining in your life. So when you are really growing and healing and working on yourself and investing in yourself and really just becoming the healthiest version of yourself, inevitably you are going to start attracting more things into your life, right? Like high quality opportunities, high quality friends, high quality men, all the things. And with that, you are also just going to be attracting more things, right?
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
If there's one thing I find unsettling about these so-called high-value women, it's their inability to see men as individual people. They'll refer to them as partners or life mates or my person, but never a man, a boyfriend, or even husband. Just listen to what this broad said. She's referring to this non-existent dude as a thing. And that's the ultimate sign of a modern woman's contempt for men. She is so far down the line that she refuses to recognize something as a man's basic individual humanity. And there's no hope for her because of that. Now, to be fair, it's not like there was much hope for her anyway. She thinks that being high off the smell of her own toilet felonies is somehow the same thing as self-improvement. But all these broads have done is take a carton of expired eggs, grabbed a permanent marker, crossed out the expiration date, and wrote in a new one, and will tell everyone that those eggs are fully healed and just as fresh and tasty as the real ones. But one look and smell, and we can tell the difference, sweet cheeks. There's nothing high value about you except for the price tag. And my money is tied up in other things, like quality coffee mugs. Man has to have his priorities, you know.
And so with that, there is going to be people that come into your life that try to either A, take advantage of you, or take advantage of your energy, right? And expect to have access to your energy. We're living in the day and age where situationships are literally all over the place.
What?
And whose fault is that exactly? Situationships happened because women, who assumed their value was higher than it actually was, started regularly having bedroom fun with Chaticus Tyronius Rayralius. And only after they started to realize that their value was lower than they assumed that they throw on a tacky dress, wash their hair, and then tell the world that it's men who are using them for their energy and their sloppy hell pit of infernal misery. Even though women control access to the bedroom, it's still somehow the man's fault because high-value women avoid accountability the same way they avoid the truth. And all of this could have been easily avoided if you recognized your actual value, found yourself a halfway decent average man within your league, and avoided being put into a situation where you felt the need to heal from past traumas. But if you did that, you wouldn't have your Disney fantasy, which you prefer over your completely empty and meaningless reality, which is something that all high-value broads have in common these days.
So if you are watching this video, this is your reminder to be mindful of who you are letting have access to your energy, and to be really honest with yourself with where you've lowered the bar, whether it is with a situationship, a guy who is reaching out to you excessively with no intention of asking you on a date, and start to set some boundaries because you will feel so much better when you hold to your high standards.
Show a little respect. So how many men have you slept with?
So in other words, stop porking Chad just because he's available, which is advice that is just as obvious as it is pretty much worthless to you. This is advice that would have done you some actual good if this was about 20 years ago, back when you were just as stupid but twice as valuable. Getting into a situationship now is practically the best case scenario for a broad like you. And here's why. Your entitled nature alongside your aging persona has left you damaged beyond any form of reasonable repair. And if you try to find yourself a rich man who's actually looking to settle down, you're so used up and worn out that you can't provide anything to this man outside of a hole he's going to wish in his head to match the hole that you've burned in his pocket. You're incapable of anything else. All you know how to do is take, and that's why you're low value, sweetheart. Chad will at least feed your delusions for a few more years before your mandatory third-class ticket to the good ship menopause requires a punching. So, you might as well. It's not like you have anything else going for you.
That's funny because it's so true.
Be careful using this method because you will make that person obsessed with you. Doesn't matter if you're no contact or haven't spoken to this person in years. Doesn't matter if they literally don't know you exist. I have tried this and it has worked every single time. And it is my love letter method. We're going to envision this specific person person that you're trying to manifest. For a moment, you are now going to pretend that you are them. We are going to be using the law of thought transmission to change this person's thoughts about you. And you're going to write a love letter from their perspective about you. What you write in this letter is going to be the thoughts that they think about you. Go crazy. Pretend that you are them writing a love letter to you. Sarah, I haven't stopped thinking about you since the day we met. No one compares to you. Fold this letter, put it under your pillow, and sleep with it for one night. Wake up the next day and watch what happens. Release all doubt, be patient, and trust the process. And I made you a manifesting workshop to get that person obsessed with you and manifest anything you want. I'll guide you through every single step. It's at the top of my page, and people have been doing it. I've seen results like this, and you are next, babe. Follow for more.
Let's do this.
Well, golly gee willikers, woman, with schemes like this, who needs MK Ultra? I'm not kidding. You should write a love letter to the CIA and tell them your strategy on how to get men obsessed with you. But you're going to need proof. And honestly, wouldn't be too difficult considering you're guaranteeing a 100% success rate. All you would have to do is utilize the strategy you already created by writing a love letter in the hand of an international billionaire playboy secret agent. Make him obsessed with you to the point where he discloses information on Dr. Chaotica's secret space lab on the dark side of the moon. Just also make sure he gets the president to sign a bill of immunity for you before you disclose that information to your handlers, just so you don't end up in a wood chipper somewhere. But like I said, shouldn't be too difficult if you're promising a 100% guaranteed success rate. Hell, it doesn't even need to be that intricate. Just use this strategy to net yourself a regular millionaire and move in with him instead of filming yourself giving crappy advice in a crappy one-bedroom apartment. Now, the universe may provide, but it sure as hell won't spoon feed. So instead of sitting around doing nothing and wishing things to happen to you, go outside and, be productive and try to be a pleasant person and do more work to try to find a man instead of doing none at all. That might increase your success rate, but considering your idiocy, I'm not holding my breath.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry at what a miracle of science this is.
Best friend literally has at least 5 dudes obsessed with her, ready to marry her at all times. And of course, her being a model and beautiful and stunning and amazing personality has a lot to do with it. But another key piece is she doesn't give a shit about any of them. She does not care to see them. She will go weeks without speaking to them, weeks without responding to them, so much so that when she finally does decide to answer, they are like ready to drive 2 hours to go see her. They're like, oh my God, I have to capitalize on this opportunity that she's even talking to me, so I gotta go see her right this second because I don't know the next time she's gonna talk to me. They're obsessed. And it's not like she's doing it on purpose, she's so busy living her own life. Like, she's so busy, like, deciding what guy she wants to see, like, who she wants to talk to, what she wants to do, what trip she wants to go on, that it's not even personal. So if you want a guy to be obsessed with you, or any guy to be obsessed with you, you gotta run the game. You gotta put yourself first and value your time over seeing a man. I do not see y'all double texting a guy. As a matter of fact, don't even text him first. Notice how this is my best friend. This is not my own advice because I fall in love and want to marry every single person that I talk to in the first 5 seconds. But if you want this is what you gotta do.
I don't think any of that's true.
So your love advice to other women is based on something you've never experienced with information you received secondhand from a person who's not nearly as cool as you think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just be serious for once in your life, woman. What you're giving out isn't advice, it's cope. You're not telling other women that this strategy works. You're trying to tell yourself that what you're doing is going to end in success. It's not expertise, it's desperation. You've already told on yourself. You've dated Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Takeda, Chang, Wang, and Roscoe, hoping that true love would be found there, and look where it's gotten you. 20 pounds of makeup on your face and you practically begging for a man on TikTok. It's time to face the music, woman. You're getting older, your market value is dwindling, and your denial is on full display for the entire planet to watch. It's far too late for you, lady. Both you and your amazing model bestie, who may or may not exist, are in for the same fate. Living alone for so long that you'll end up falling over and not being able to get up.
Ridiculous.
I'm just really having one of those moments where I hate owning a home by myself. Like, I know girl power, I can do it, but I can't. So my current struggle is I put in a wet bar in my basement, which go me, that's really badass, right? But the issue is I got a fridge for it.
And the fridge just got delivered at the end of my driveway. There ain't no way in hell I can get that even to my doorstep by myself.
That's not my problem. It's yours.
Woman, are you seriously thinking that installing a wet bar in your basement is somehow a flex? Now, I'll be the first to admit my knowledge of home improvement starts and ends with sitcoms starring Tim Allen, but when I think of awesome home improvement options that deserve pats on the back, I think of secret rooms and hidden doors and a kick-ass escape tunnel. I mean, that's what Skeeter has in his house, and it's freaking awesome. But when it comes to wet bars, I think the most that's worthy of is a half-hearted, oh, that's cool. But it's a wet bar in your basement. It's not as big of a deal as you think. I mean, I suppose it could be if we were talking about that wet bar from Coming to America, but come on, that one had model trains, and that's worthy of a hell yeah, brother. Come on. It's a wet bar in your basement, and you're acting like you're worthy of a pat on the back, and to be frank, I'm not willing to do that. I couldn't care less about how you frivolously spend your money on something you'll use less than occasionally, and I've done run out of hand sanitizer.
There's just no way. There's no way. And a snowstorm is coming. It is pouring rain out, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Literally, what do I do? We're gonna show you how big this is. Oh, don't worry, it's not here. Here it is.
Oh, poor you.
I don't know why, but the fact that this woman is on the verge of a nervous breakdown over a pointless expenditure that'll do nothing but increase her electric bill just proves society deserves its impending collapse. Because most of us were thinking the same thing without breaking a sweat. But she is so broken that the idea of her going to her local hardware emporium and renting out a furniture dolly for a few hours and moving a mini fridge into her home has never occurred to her once. And the really sad part is she's freaking out over an appliance she's going to use like, what, maybe a half dozen times a year? I mean, how often do you really use a mini fridge in a wet bar? I mean, having the extra fridge space could come in handy, but I'm having trouble thinking why you'd need the extra fridge space when you live alone and have zero chance of ever having a man move in with you. I don't know, gentlemen and gents. Am I wrong on this one? Let me know in the comments section down below.
This is how tall. This is my hip. It is taller. And it's soaking wet because it's pouring out and it's going to freeze. Oh my God, this is actually bad. Like, I can't even. Oh my God. Oh my God. Watch me try and move it. Why does my head look so big? There's steps. I gotta go up steps. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Now, idiots! It's simple!
Lady, you can clearly walk that stupid thing into your garage to get it out of the rain and then figure out the rest later. It's a luxury item, not something you need to keep the house from falling apart, but you are so fixated on self-pity and content creation that you would rather be a boss bae damsel in distress who don't need no man while complaining that she doesn't have a man to help her move heavy objects. You clearly weren't thinking about the responsibilities of home ownership before you actually buying a house in today's market, which isn't all that surprising. You're a modern woman and you measure your self-worth with the things you buy instead of the content of your character. But that's only because character is something you clearly lack. And judging how you're about to go over the edge thanks to your inability to move a mini fridge about 12 feet, I would hate to find out what's going to happen when you clog your shower drain with all of the hair that's inevitably going to fall out of your head. So my advice to you is to stop flexing. You have been thoroughly defeated by a kitchen appliance. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.